HVAC School All-Star Award. Our finalists were HVAC U LLC, HVAC School, Mountain Land Tech College, and Johnson Controls Ducted Systems Academy. The honorable mention goes to HVAC U LLC, and our winner of this year's All-Star is HVAC School. And here to accept this All-Star Award today is HVAC School's founder, Brian Orr. Brian, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Hannah, for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. So I'd like to talk a little bit about HVACschool.com and what sets it apart from other HVAC training programs or platforms that are out there. How do you approach education differently?
Well, first off, we're really technician driven. We're driven by the technician contractor community, people who actually do it every day out in the field. So that informs our approach, it informs our content, but it also informs the way that we view community. We're very non-competitive. We're supported by a lot of some of the great stewards of the industry who kind of help us keep the lights on at HVAC School. But because of that, I'm super collaborative with a lot of the larger trade schools and other trade organizations, really just looking to help support education across HVACR, wherever that may be, and not needing to, not needing to sign up students in a traditional way. Obviously, we have a lot of resources that we provide, and we do a lot of education, but we're really there to support the ecosystem as a whole.
Right. Yeah, you all are after the same goal. We're trying to keep HVAC technicians informed, and we're trying to keep this industry afloat and let it grow. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, next question for you, Brian. How has the HVAC training landscape changed in recent years? How have you adapted your platform? So many things are changing with AI technology. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, there's been a lot that's changed. Gosh, I mean, since the time I started in the trade, when your traditional trade school, anywhere from 2 to 4 year programs, and there was a different sort of ethos around the trades. There was a lot of trade organizations that still had people showing up to local meetings. And again, we still encourage that, but there isn't as much of that as there used to be. And so because of that, a lot of people are looking to online resources. They're looking for reliable sources of information, but also community online in ways that was just completely impossible in the past. But then we also have this massive trade skills gap. So a lot of people have just recognized the reality that sometimes the ideal situation that we would be able to commit 4 years to education alone really isn't realistic in the trades anymore. So we have to rely on just-in-time education and on-the-job training in ways that maybe we didn't in past generations.
Yeah, and I imagine that as things come in and they change, you guys adapt with the times. You're constantly evolving your training program.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everything we do is constant. I mean, yeah, everything's constantly evolving. Everything's constantly changing. We have to remain very agile. We have to be very pragmatic about what the needs are. But we've also seen a lot of really great progress. I mean, there's a lot of things in terms of best practices that are being deployed to the field now in very practical and economical ways that really weren't possible in the past because the community has come together and really figured out the best ways of doing things. And that's, again, at HVAC School, we do that, but there's a lot of other people out there who also kind of inform the things that we teach because we have such a strong community of people who are working together, not working against one another.
Yeah, absolutely. When you think of the training that you've done, do any sort of success stories come to mind of an example that how the training has impacted a technician and helped them advance their career? Does anything come to mind that you can share with us?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so many examples of
I
that.
bet.
But like a few that are that aren't necessarily maybe specific to a single individual, uh, but across the trade. I mean, we've had massive growth in how we pull vacuum. Like it's a really simple thing, but in the past, technicians were very frustrated because they didn't know how to get the results that the textbooks and manufacturers said that you had to get. And so everybody sort of felt like they weren't doing the right thing because there just wasn't really clear instruction. And so we've done a lot of work with a lot of others to make those processes really simple. And show that you can do really deep, really great vacuum very quickly and very economically, so long as you have the right equipment and you do the right practices. And so it sort of makes a lot of people have come to me and said, I feel like a professional now, where before I felt like I was doing the wrong thing, but I really just didn't know how to take what was in the textbook and apply it to the field. Same thing is true with airflow and airflow testing. The same thing is true on the refrigerant side, recovery. So many different areas where I think technicians and service professionals have always wanted to feel like professionals, but often they end up doing things less than perfect because they just weren't given the tools and the best practices to do it. So we spend a lot of time on that, the sort of things that connect the theory to what you actually do with your hands, the realities that you actually face when you're at a client's building.
Yeah, and can you, before I forget, I didn't ask you this question earlier. Can you talk to me a little bit about the inception of HVAC school? Where did that come from? How did you guys get started? Did you see the demand or the need, and then you were like, "Hey, let me meet this for you guys"?
I've always really loved audio. And so
Mm.
HVAC school started as primarily a podcast. That was really where we started. But I've also always really loved this trade and teaching this trade. So I've done a wide range of different teaching. I worked at a big, very large company and was their training manager. Training has always been part of my contracting company, and then also teaching as part of apprenticeship programs, registered apprenticeship. And I never thought that I would be able to take my passion for audio and media and things that I really enjoy as sort of a hobbyist. I did a lot of work as like a stringer for different podcasts and radio shows, and just loved that. Loved editing and microphones and soundboards and all that kind of nerdy, dorky stuff. But then I just thought, hey, you know what? There's a lot of demand. There's a lot of need for training. I'm going to take the training I'm doing and use the other kind of hobbyist things that I've learned how to do and just put it out on the internet and see what the response is. And the response was very, very strong right away. The demand was clearly there. And so we've just continued to build it from there.
And can you talk to me a little bit about some of the biggest knowledge gaps that you see among new or even experienced HVAC technicians today? And how does your content go about addressing them?
Yeah, so a lot of knowledge gaps occur when people don't have clear mental models to make sense of what they're seeing in the world and connect that back to theory and science. And so a lot of times theory, science, words on the page are scary to people who are really good at working with their hands. When you have a strength of the tactile, the kinesthetic is your strength of learning, sometimes things that feel sort of ethereal or confusing because you can't see it, you can't feel it, can be really challenging. And electrical is one of those. Electrical reading wiring diagrams, using a meter, troubleshooting, how it really works is always kind of magical because you can't see it. And so one of the things that I've always done in all my teaching, and definitely translated that to HVAC school, is really trying to create what my brother and I call it head cartoons. Give people good mental models that allow them to visualize things that happen in the unseen world. So that way they can make sense of it. It may not be exactly scientifically accurate. And we say that all the time, like, hey, this isn't exactly right, but it's a way that you can think about it to help you visualize what's going on. And we do that on the fluid dynamic side inside the system. We do that on the electrical side, certainly on the airflow side. And then on the thermodynamic side, there's so much in HVACR that is unseen, and helping people get that head cartoon tuned in a way that helps them sort of understand what's going on inside the equipment is something we focus on. I've seen a lot of success.
Yeah, and in your experience, do you have a lot of technicians that might come in HVAC focus and then they're leaving electrical focus, plumbing focus, and they're just kind of expanding their horizons?
Yeah, that's one of the attractions of HVACR. When you ask people what they like about it, there's a lot that's challenging about it, but what they like about it, they'll tell you, is it's something new every day. And that's because it is essentially all the trades jammed into one. We have to do plumbing. We have to do, again, obviously the fluid dynamics, thermodynamics, airflow side of things for sure is kind of our specialty, but we have to do electrical. We have to be just as good, if not better, with a meter in our hands than a professional electrician. Now they're going to be better on code compliance and bending pipe and pulling wire and the aesthetic parts of the trade. But a lot of times what we see is it's actually the opposite. It's not so much that people start in HVAC and end up being electricians. It's more so that people think they want to be an electrician, and then we show them the magical, wonderful world that is HVACR, and they get addicted to it, like many of us do. Sometimes it's like, kind of wish we weren't so addicted to it, but
Yeah.
but the beauty is that it is such a challenge. It's such a puzzle, and that's what makes our trade really, really special.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're winning the HVAC All-Star Award. It's a big recognition, especially for HVAC school. What does this honor mean to you and your team?
It means a lot, but more than what this honor means to us, it is all about the community, because all I know how reliant what we've done has been on so many other people. I even think of the news. I had a chance to write for the news years and years ago when I was really early on in HVAC school, and the support that I received from the team over there, and just the excitement and what it means to me is all about community. and all about the joy of getting to do something we love with people that we care about. And that's a really fun thing. And so this is another kind of reaffirmation of that. And yeah, it's great. And it is a great honor. And when people say it's humbling, I never really used to get that, but now I do get it, because the humbling part is just knowing how many people have contributed to what we do. And I'm very grateful for that. I'm very grateful to the news.
Yeah, well, we're grateful for people like you, Brian, too, because you keep us in business when you think about it. No HVAC, no news. So thank you so much again for your time, Brian. We really appreciate having you.
Yeah, it's been a great honor.